Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a team around Lokix. And if you want to see more content like this, leave a like in the video and subscribe for more. I will also say, for anyone who might not have already known, we do have channel memberships on the channel, and starting on Monday, we're going to be doing bonus content with specific guides on how to use all the Pokemon we're covering. So whenever you see a video starting on Monday, let's say on Monday we cover how to use Ceruledge, and you want to know specifically what other team comps you could do with Ceruledge, that guide will be starting for channel members on Monday. Every single day, we're going to do those how to use guides. So if you want to get that information, that extra bonus content, channel membership button down below, that's the big thing we're plugging today. But of course, like and subscribe as always. And with that said, let's get into today's team, which is built around Lokix. The first one on this team is going to be Chien-Pao. Now, I have Scarf Chien-Pao in here for a few different reasons. For one, it's great at revenging off other Chien-Paos thanks to Sacred Sword. Most other teams are not running Scarf, so being able to Sacred Sword them first is always extremely invaluable. Not only this as well, but we do have some other options like Icicle Crash, which is great for dragons, especially for stuff like, for example, Garchomp that runs Rocky Helmet Rough Skin, which is a little annoying for Lokix damage overall, as well as for stuff like Dragonite, because Dragonite could end up having E-Speed on teams, and especially for not banded sets, or for sets that just don't take out Chien-Pao thanks to Terrestrial Normal, Crash is great for that. But even if they are Terrestrial Normal, we still have Sacred Sword. So again, this in general is just a really good option for Chien-Pao, specifically for other Chien-Pao, but it's also great for Lokix in general, partner-wise. Next up, we do have Dragapult with the choice specs here. Great option around Pokemon like Annihilate and Goldango that are running the tier. Goldango is great to be damaged by this, of course, because we can get through screens, and also as well, just generally super effectively hit Goldango. On top of this as well, we do have the Infiltrator ability, which is great for some sort of sub-Annihilate sets that have been running around the tier, as well as in general, just any sort of Annihilate that might be boosted by screens or Shed Tail. All of these options, of course, Dragapult can get through them, and nail is really top tier ghosts right now. It's also great in general just for other dragons, which again, stuff like the Garchomp example that annoy Lokix a little bit with Helmet Rough Skin, but overall just a really great special attacker for the team. We have Corviknight up next, great Rocky Helmet option with U-Turn, Defog, Roost, and Body Press. Great check to stuff like Chien-Pao, for example, in case if ours dies, as well as U-Turn, of course, being a great pivot into Lokix. We have Defog to clear stuff like screens, hazards, etc. because since we are not a Boots Lokix, we really don't like having to take Stealth Rock since it does do 25% of our health. And because we actually have a Life Orb Lokix in this team, it's even more chip we would be taking unnecessarily, so why bother with that? We have Garchomp up next with another Rocky Helmet on this team. It's our second to third of three Rocky Helmet options, actually. With this Mon, we have Stealth Rock, Iron Head, Dragon Tail, and Earthquake. Dragon Tail is great at phasing out setup Mons, and with Rocky Helmet and the Phys Def investment, it's great for stuff like Annihilate and to phase that out, as well as, again, any other physical setup options, whether it's maybe a Dragonite's option that gets cocky, maybe it's Lokix. We have Earthquake at least to pressure tank a ton, especially if it lacks player off. I've seen some sets with like Gigaton Hammer, Knockoff, Protect, and Sword Dance going around, which in that case, it would be really good for that sort of set actually to just Earthquake it and take no damage. But in general, this set is mostly just meant to be a hazard option, and it's meant to pressure fairies that would otherwise sponge it, as well as go for Earthquake and Dragon Tail, just for good stab options. We have up next Lokix with Life Orb. We have the Tinted Lens ability, which allows Lokix to do some insane damage to even resisted Pokemon. For anyone who might be new to competitive and hasn't witnessed the wonder of Pokemon such as Yanmega and Venomoth, these Pokemon, of course, with the bug types of Tinted Lens, they do incredible damage to resistances, actually. And unless your name is Heatran, you typically don't take the bug hits that well, especially with the Tinted Lens ability. So with stuff like Leech Life, we're able to gain incredible health back since Heatran is not in the meta, and every other steel takes about half at +2. On top of this as well, we have First Impression, which is a great priority option. There's so much priority in this tier, it's littered with it, and this allows it especially a great edge against Pokemon like Chien-Pao, which riddle the top tier as far as dark types go. And with Sucker Punch, it's great for ghosts such as Goldango or Annihilate or Dragapult that would otherwise put a lot of pressure on this. So yeah, honestly, really great breaker for this team. Final Mon on the team we do have is our third Rocky Helmet option, Slowbro. Now I have Slowbro on this team mostly as a status option. We can Thunder Wave opponents, which is really valuable actually because Lokix can spam Leech Life more easily and not rely on the priority as much, because First Impression only works in the first turn. Meanwhile, Sucker Punch, my opponent has to attack first. So having Thunder Wave to speed control this to get the most consistent option of damage output, as well as the one that gains his health back, being Leech Life, is really valuable here. With Body Press as well, we're a decent check to different steel types that might riddle this tier. With Future Sight, it's great at forcing in more dark types, which we can Leech Life with Lokix, which is really valuable for us. And with Slack Off, it's just a great way to get some recovery back. Slowbro is a little bit worse this gen because of no teleport, and unlike Slowking, it doesn't have chilling reception, but this team benefited a bit more from a physical wall here. We didn't really need the dedicated special wall. We have Corviknight. It's doing plenty fine. With that said, though, that's the team, and with that said, let's get right to the battle. Until then, peace out, guys. Hey guys, we're here today taking on the OU singles tier with, again, another Wi-Fi battle. So hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content, and if you do, leave a like and subscribe. With that said though, today's team is going to be built around Lokix. If you guys want the team, there should be a rental code for 5 days down below. I will say, by the time this video goes up, we might have that timer extended finally. I looked into getting a physical copy of Scarlet and Violet instead of my eShop copy, so I could do some more save files for longer term in the rental codes. So if you are interested, the code might be up a little longer than 5 days, but don't count on it. With that said, as far as my opponent's lead goes, I'm going to anticipate they're leading off with either Earthworm or the Tinkaton. So I think it's in my best interest to always lead off with Garchomp here. Garchomp should be a pretty decent option, at the very least in terms of Tinkaton. Actually, no, I should lead off with Corviknight then. Because Corviknight would be really good at defogging hazards. I can get a good slow pivot on both those Pokemon. And on top of this as well, it's a lot better matched up for Earthworm specifically because I can just go for an attack that's not going to get eaten by the Earth Eater ability. So yeah, good luck and fun to my opponent though. And with that said, let's hope for another win. It's been a bit since I've actually played any OU singles. The last one I did was a few days ago because I've been doing so much VGC testing a couple teams that I'm looking into for my first regional. So yeah, we do see that the Earthworm does lead off. It's perfectly fine. I love the nickname being Trolley, by the way. That's such a great nickname for this Pokemon. We do, of course, get the lead right, which is really good for us. As far as my opponent's team, they're probably going to go for the Shed Tail here. And I think it's in my best interest then to go for a U-turn. I'm going to U-turn into... Oh, we're actually outpacing this. Okay. So then I'm going to U-turn into Garchomp, I think. I'll be honest, I genuinely thought this Pokemon would outpace me, but it's really good prep in all honesty that my opponent tried to underpace stuff like Corviknight. We're going to go into Garchomp, though. My guess is that Annihilape is going to come in, and this is fine. I cannot see this Mon staying in, but not going for Shed Tail. They're going to go for Coil, actually. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail this turn and get rid of this Pokemon altogether. This thing isn't going to go for Shed Tails into Annihilape. That's really good for me, actually. And when the next Pokemon gets brought in, unless it's Tinkaton, I'm probably just going to go for Stealth Rock. So we're going to go for Dragon Tail here. I don't really want this thing sitting on my team. They're going to go for Hazards, so be it. Let's see. So let me really quickly actually take notes, because I've noticed this has helped a ton as far as my laddering goes. We're going to assume this is Earth Eater, or at least we're going to play like it is until we're proven for otherwise, because there's, again, no reason not to on this Pokemon. Let's see, so this has Stealth Rocks and Coil, and Annihilape is in. Okay, so honestly, I'm definitively just going to go for a Stealth Rock here, and let this thing take some helmet damage. If it goes for any sort of Terrestrial or Sub, which it didn't seem like it went for Terrestrial at least, that's fine by me. I do like the triple steel aspect, especially with Earthworm, at least if nothing else, being a really good option to be a nice ground immunity for this sort of triple steel archetype. And it's also really good at just taking out fairies for Annihilape, so it's also, again, pretty useful. We're going to completely phase out this Mon altogether. And then, let's see, so while I'm taking notes, Goldango. I forget what the other two Pokemon are on the team. I do got to take note of those, at the very least, before I make my next turn, because it could be obviously changing how I play the game. We're going to see Tinkaton come in. It's perfectly fine. As far as my opponent's other two Pokemon go, what are the other two Mons real quick? I'm definitely going to switch on this, by the way, into Corviknight. Corviknight should be pretty good. Grimmsnarl and Dragonite. Okay, that's easy enough. We're going to go right into Corviknight here. If my opponent goes for Stealth Rocks, it's fine. I don't really mind the rocks at this moment in time because I'm not looking to bring in Chien-Pao unless it's to clean, and Lokix isn't coming in at the moment either. So at the very least, I'll probably be using Lokix as a cleaner. It's pretty decent for stuff like Annihilape if it Terrestrials, for Goldango, for Dragonite as well, even. Well, not Dragonite, for Grimmsnarl as well. I definitely need Dragonite gone. That's going to be a really big E-speed threat to Pokemon like Lokix. And I also would prefer at least if Earthworm's gone, just because of Shed Tail potential. Right now, we're going to go for the Body Press. My opponent's only real switch into this would be the Annihilape. And kind of Dragonite, but Dragonite doesn't do anything back. Annihilape would actually be kind of a little bit annoying, but neither's really a big deal. We're going to go for the Roost here. My guess is my opponent's going to go for Knockoff. I don't overly mind, in all honesty. I just want to get this healthy. They're going to go for Gigaton, actually. So be it. It does a good amount, but they're taking Helmet Chip. They can't click that again. And, well, at least not until 2 turns from now. And on top of this as well, I'm still going to be able to get some good damage off with Body Press. So this is the sequence they want to go with, so be it. They're going to go for Protect here. So they have Protect, Swords, Dance, and Gigaton Hammer. Very interesting set at the very least. Definitely a little bit concerned, I guess, with this Mon, but not, like, to some significant degree. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go for Roost. Again, I can Pressure Stall this if nothing else. It should only have 3 more Gigatons, which is really good for me, actually. And if they predict that and make me burn through a roost, I don't mind that either. This mon has no recovery unless it clicks rest, so I'm pretty okay with this too. They're gonna go for Gigaton number 2. Perfectly fine. As far as Tinkaton goes, let's see. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, Gigaton Hammer does have 8 PP. Easy enough. I'm gonna go for a body press here. Even if they go for protect, I don't mind a ton. They're gonna go for sword stance actually, which is perfectly fine by me. I'm willing to trade my Corviknight for this. Actually, no, I kind of want Corviknight a little bit. What mon do I want to trade for this then? Because I'm definitely trading something now. I think ultimately it's going to be probably Garchomp. Yeah, I think it's Garchomp. Their only rocker would have been this or Annihilate, or I guess it's Earthworm actually. Okay, so I do kind of need this mon around then. So then, let's see. I'm thinking it'll be Slowbro. Slowbro should still be able to chew these hits very well, with the +4 even still. So I'm not too concerned about this. Let's see. All right. So my opponent is going to go for probably Gigaton here. I'd be very shocked if they didn't. They're gonna go for Gigaton Hammer. Yep. Okay, this is fine. They shouldn't have too many of these. And what I could do from here, I'm just gonna let Slowbro go down. In all honesty, I don't overly need this mon around, and I think I value Corviknight and Dragonite's roles here a lot more because Dragonite's a pretty good option just for hazard setting, and it's decent checking for Annihilate. Slowbro's kind of odd against this team. There's 2 ghosts. There's Grimmsnarl is a dark type. I'm gonna go for the body press here, just in the off chance. My opponent's gonna go for play off actually. It's fine. So they've revealed their 4th move. So be it. We're gonna go into Dragon Bolt here. My opponent's only real check to this is the Grimmsnarl, and I honestly get a really free flamethrower because my opponent's only switching to flamethrower is their dragon type. So I'm pretty fine with just clicking the flamethrower here, in all honesty. It should be pretty decent if nothing else. So yeah, we're gonna go for flamethrower at this point. This should take out Tinkaton. I can't imagine it wouldn't. Thankfully as well, they clicked play off, so they took even more helmet damage. Not that they're really preserving this Pokemon, but they'll just completely get taken out by Stealth Box at this point. So they can't even really preserve this either. It's a pretty free flamethrower for us. And while my opponent can definitely go into Dragonite and predict this, they're losing multi-scale, which I will definitely take. And on top of this as well, I can go into another Pokemon and prevent just off something like a Qianpao later on, so I'm pretty okay with that. Tinkaton is now completely off the field. That's a decent wall breaker gone for my opponent. Corviknight's job here is looking a lot better as far as the long term goes. I'm definitely going to preserve the Dragapult, by the way. I don't think it makes sense to let this go down in all honesty. It's a decent revenge option for stuff like Dragonite, if nothing else. My opponent's probably going to go for Screens or Parting Shot here. I'm always switching out at this point. We're going to go right into Corviknight. Even if I get Thunder Wave, that's fine, in all honesty, because I can go for Defog and clear this thing's screens. And I still have my rocker with Garchomp anyway in the back, so I don't overly mind clearing my rocks. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'm probably going to click Defog, unless if my opponent goes for Taunt this turn, which if they do, so be it. But they're going to go for Light Screen. Okay. So probably dual screens Parting Shot in an attacking move, if I had to guess. They could go for Taunt, to be fair, of a Parting Shot, but I don't really know why you wouldn't run Grim with removal, with Momentum in this game. I feel like it's such a good option for this sort of generation. Grim with Momentum with the Screen Setter, it's really good at setting up stuff like Earthworm and Annihilate. So I don't think they're going to actually have Taunt, which is really good for me. They're going to go for Parting Shot. Yep, okay, beautiful. Parting Shot. So this is honestly okay for me. I'm clearing their Light Screen, which is decent. They're probably going to bring in Annihilate here if I had to guess, because it should wall my set. So I'll take that. They're going to go into 24k, so they're going to Gold Tango here. They're trying to block the Defog. Good play, good play. Still shouldn't really matter for me in all honesty. I'm going to go for the U-turn here. Corviknight should still be... Actually, I'm going to go for the hard swap here. I'm going to go for hard swap into Garchomp. Solely for the fact that I don't mind if Garchomp gets tricked. I do mind, however, if Corviknight does. If Garchomp gets a Scarf, though, that's not really that bad, this matchup. Their only switch into ground is Earthworm or Dragonite. So I can take that, and I can honestly just Dragon Tail spam. They're going to go for Shadow Ball, which is okay for me. They're not even going to actually... Oh, they might take me out now. Still not a huge deal for me, in all honesty. What I can do here, I can go for the Earthquake. If they outpace me, so be it. They're going to go for Shadow Ball. I think this KOs, but I'm not really in the business of switching around this. So we'll lose Garchomp, but so be it at this point. I don't mind a ton. We're going to go into... Dragapult here, because Dragapult should get around this with Infiltrator. If my opponent does decide to... if my opponent ends up being a Scarf set, there's not a ton I could do. I could have gone into... I I could have, to be fair, gone into the... I could probably have gone into the Chien Pao here, but I don't overly mind. They're going to go for Shadow Ball. That's fine. This does take us out. Unfortunate. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we've at least figured out this is Scarf Goldengo. Not a huge deal. We're going to go into Chien Pao then. Chien Pao should still be pretty decent at breaking this team. I don't overly pull in honesty, albeit it's a luxury, but between Chien Pao and Corviknight, I'm actually pretty okay against this team. Their only one switch into Dark would be it would be the Grimmsnarl. So I don't mind just clicking Crunch here in all honesty. I could still Revenge off with Lokix later on as well, but I want to try and preserve HP on that for a little bit longer. Their team thankfully did lose the Tinkaton, which is a decent-ish option for Lokix, considering it could outpace, and I'm not doing a ton with Sucker Punch, even with the Tinted Lens. So losing that is huge. I just need to get rid of specifically the Dragonite. I don't know why I spent so long thinking what that mon was, but Dragonite, I do need to get rid of that. There are leftovers on Orthworm. I don't know why I didn't note that down later, and earlier I should say. But this shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna go for another Crunch in all honesty. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for another Crunch. Because at this point, I just need to wear the team in range, and if they're gonna go for Coil, this is probably my best play. They're gonna actually make a double here, and they're gonna go into Goldengo again. Okay, perfect. I clear the Scarfer. That's really huge for me. I'm really glad I was able to manage this. They're definitely gonna go into Grimmsnarl next though, which I don't mind. This also means we could defog their side of the field later on with really no drawback at all. So I'm also pretty okay with this. If they go into anything here, I'm going hard into Corviknight. Every single mon on the field, besides Annihilate, would be the exception. They're going to go into Loki. I believe this was Grim. Yeah, this was Grim. Okay, so I'm fine with this. We're going to proceed to go into Corviknight, because I do need to spawn around a little bit. I will say one annoying thing about having lost Dragapult is specifically the Annihilate. However, I will say I should still actually be fine. That mon shouldn't be too big of a deal thanks to Chien Pao. So I'm pretty okay with this. We're going to probably see a Parting Shot this turn if I had to guess. They're going to go for Reflect actually. Okay, so I can go for Defog pretty easily. Since I do value clearing the screens in general more than I value, as well as the rocks for that matter. I value that a lot more than I value letting Annihilate get a +1 up. Because if Annihilate gets a +1 up, I don't overly care. Sure, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but I'll objectively do more damage, do a +1 bulk up set. They're actually going to be Taunt. Okay. So they're literally like 0 attacks on Grim. Okay, so that's good to know. What I'm going to do, I'm going to click a U-turn here, because I do want to get that slow momentum going. They're going to go for Light Screen, so be it. But I'm not overly concerned. They're instead going to go for Parting Shot. Okay. So what I could do, I can go for the U-turn, and I can bring in Chien Pao on the Annihilate when it comes in. And from there, I'm going to probably go for a Psychic Fangs. Just solely for the... Actually, no, I'm going to probably go... Yeah, I'm going to go for Psychic Fangs, because I can defog later on and then try and clean with... I don't know if I can. I think I kind of have to be honest. I kind of have to just see if my opponent will go for... will let me go for the sweep. They're going to go into Annihilate. Yep, okay, this is fine. So despite having screens up, this should still take a good amount from my Psychic Fangs at the very least. Despite obviously not having the benefit of... well, what would do more? So I'm definitely 100% going to go into Chien Pao here. That's non-negotiable, because I can't really play around with Sucker Punch shenaniganry. But what would do more damage between Icicle Crash? Well, I'm actually going to definitely click Icicle Crash, I think. Because my opponent's only... Well, this is a little bit of a predicament. So I think what I need to do, I need to Terrestrial Ice and I need to go for Crash. This should do a good amount of damage, despite the fact that my opponent does have the advantage with their screens up. But I'm not too concerned with this. If my opponent goes for some sort of Terrestrial Water set, that would be the worst case scenario for me. But even still, at the very least, I am boosting my damage output with Terrestrial Ice, so it should at least be a little less bad. We're going to go for Crash here. I don't think it's a KO, but it should probably do a KO, even through the bulk up that's coming up. There, yep. Okay, not as much as I would have liked, but it's still not terrible. Ooh, the flinch. That's pretty terrible, actually. My opponent gets pretty screwed by that as long as I don't miss this turn. Unless they're Terrestrial Water. Terrestrial Water would be the exception here, but if they're burning Terrestrial on this, I don't overly mind. Let's see. So they are going to be Terrestrial Water. All right, good to note. While they will definitely take this hit pretty well, and they can probably just KO me with whatever attack they go for, I'm pretty okay with this. Because what I can realistically do, if they don't go for bulk up this turn, I'm pretty fine to just go for a Roost on Corviknight. We got another flinch. Okay, that actually really sucks for my opponent. I'm really sorry. In all honesty, I should probably miss this next one, considering how, okay, yeah. I said I should, but I didn't mean I actually wanted to. They're gonna go for Drain Punch here, so be it. I should have, to be fair, missed that, objectively speaking, but, like, there's a difference between should and could, for sure. But it was 100% justified. I won't act like it wasn't. This was objectively fair to my opponent, to say the least. We're gonna go for a Corviknight here, and I'm just gonna go for Roost. If my opponent goes for Rage Fist, so be it. But I think objectively my play is to go for Roost and try to just make sure that I can get my recovery back on this Pokemon, because it's a decent check to Dragonite if nothing else. So we're gonna go for Roost here. Again, if my opponent Rage Fists, fine. I don't really want to just hard swap this in on Dragonite later on, though. Yeah, we just need to clear hazards, I think, is the big thing. It should help Lokix with as much longevity as possible. But my opponents, as I said, they're definitely going for bulk up a Rage Fist. At the very least, they're no longer immune to Body Press, which is actually really good for me. So I could actually have a way to attack this later on. So I just need to make sure that my opponent does not take me out with Rage Fist, I guess, would be my best play. It looks like they're taking a lot of time. I'm wondering if they're really trying to think about this turn, though I don't mind if they are, considering no matter what, I guarantee this defog off now. They're going to go for Rage Fist. Okay, so be it. Was kind of expected, to be fair, but you can't do a ton about that. Thankfully got the Rocky Helmet chip, though. And my opponent's going to have to take a first impression this turn, which is pretty good for us. So we're going to go into Lokix, and I'm going to go for first impression here. If my opponent switches out, that's fine. I'm not really too concerned with this. So we're going to go for the first impression. It should be, if nothing else, good damage on Annihilate, and we do at least close the diff a little bit, which is nice. As far as what my opponent's probably going to go into next, they're probably going to go into Orthworm, which I'm not too concerned with. Best thing I could do is probably Body Press, which, so be it. Their Reflect wore off, which is actually really good timing for us. So they might go into Grim even, which if they go into Grimmsnarl, what I could probably do... Okay, they are going to go into Grimmsnarl. Okay. So what I could probably do, thankfully, they can't go for Taunt or the Parting Shot on me. So they're actually kind of stuck here. So what I can do, I can go for Swords Dance at this point, and I can get a free Leech Life off, and that should, if nothing else, help with damage output still, as well as making sure that we're doing more damage to Orthworm. Even through the Reflect, actually, we're going to do more damage because of this, because we'll have gained +4 now. And again, Grim has no way to touch me. We've already confirmed this. Parting Shot, we're immune to it, which is amazing for us, actually. So we're going to go for, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go for another Leech Life at this point. I want to gain my HP back, and I think that my opponent will hard swap here. So they're probably going to bring in, nope, again, they can't do that. I should have gotten the +6. I should have gotten the +6. Leech Life should still do some good damage. Dragonite's definitely coming in here. I don't know if the crit even mattered, to be honest, because again, this mon can't really do anything at this point. It's absolute fodder. It's just more hacks on the table, I guess, but objectively it doesn't really matter. They're probably going to go into Dragonite, though, and they're probably going to... Yeah, they're going to go into Big Draco here. They're probably going to click E-Speed. Now, as far as if it KOs or not, I don't know if it actually will. I'm going to go for Leech Life. They're going to go for E-Speed, most likely. I can't imagine they don't. If they don't, then I kind of choked a little bit, but not a huge deal. I can't really risk E-Speed because I do no damage. They're going to go for Ice Spinner, actually. Does this even KO? That does nothing. Okay, that's really good, actually. That's really good for us, actually. So... As far as my play this turn, I'm gonna go for a Sucker Punch, I think. No, actually, because if they go for E-Speed, at any point, I kind of lose. Because the fact that, yeah, by clicking Sucker Punch there, if I clicked E-Speed, that would have been game-changing for them. We get the KO here, thankfully, because no multi-scales up, which is amazing for us. So I think I just Sucker Punch on Orthworm and win. Let me double check real quick what does more. Let's see. So Lokix with Tinted Lens, with Leech Life. Man, I really wish I got that +6 up, because I think that might have made the difference. Okay, so Orthworm. So we're +4 here with Life Orb, but there's also Reflect up. We actually do more with Leech Life anyway. Leech Life just does more damage. It should definitely take this mon out. Beautiful. Okay, so Lokix honestly managed to clutch up really well there. Honestly, I think the biggest advantage here, truthfully, 100% came from the fact that my opponent had the completely taunt fodder Grimmsnarl. That's the only reason I won, actually, I'll be honest. If they had Spirit Break, I think I would have lost, which if my opponent ends up watching this video, I recommend Spirit Break on Grim. It's such a great option to not get put in those situations against Archetypes. But regardless, so big a game to my opponent. If you guys enjoy this vid and you want to see more like it, leave a like and subscribe for more. Shout out to channel members, of course, being Josh, K Ultra Player, Mia, and Zeke0. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, well, if you want to see some bonus content, actually, because I'm going to starting on Monday, I'm going to start going over guides for all the Pokemon I'm covering as a specific channel members exclusive series. So this is your note now. If you want to see some extra content on how to use Pokemon in a more narrow fashion on just the Pokemon rather than a team comp, channel member button down below, guys, as well as, of course, we have options such as Twitter and Discord to stay up to date on future content. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out, guys.